Once you've edited and refined the sound bites from your interviews, you may start your news story script. You need to click on this link to open the AV Script Google Docs template. You need to make a copy of this template and place it in your news project folder. So go to the File menu, choose Make a Copy, and call it News. A 1 or 2 word name for your story. This one is Education Changes. And then your first and last name. Now you need to go to the File menu and move this copy and navigate to your News Project folder and then click Move Here. You can use the Control+ key to zoom in on the template. First, give it a title. I'm going to put in Education Changes. For the draft number, put 1. For the page number, put 1. Go ahead and put the 2-digit month that you're starting to write the script, the 2-digit day, and the 4-digit year. And then type your first and last name. Notice that this is a table. Each row in the table represents one part of your script. The first part will be the first thing that you will say as a reporter. So for now, you'll leave that blank. What you're going to need to do is actually write down the names of each person you interviewed and the sound bites that they say. This is known as a transcript, and this can be a tedious process. So I'm going to show you a way to hopefully save yourself some effort in transcribing your interviews. First, create a new Google Doc. File, New, Document, and call it Sound Bites Transcript. In order to transcribe what the people have said in your video and to save you some trouble, make sure you're not in full screen view on the Chromebook. So if you need to, click this icon to make sure it's not full screen. You're going to be using a tool known as voice typing. Let's see if we can get this to work. Use the Control and N keys to open a new window and navigate to your WeVideo project. I'm going to go ahead and open up my news story for editing. And here you can see I've got my sound bites grouped. I've got space before the first set. I've got space between each set of sound bites. And so what I need to do is make sure my speaker is up. And I want to be ready to play these back. So I'm just going to test it a little bit to make sure the sound is coming through.
My class is no...
With the sound playing through, I'm going to back it up. And now I'm going to use the Alt and Tab keys to return to my transcript document. Here's where it gets tricky. From the Tools menu, to make sure I have voice typing open, notice that there's a microphone icon. I'm not going to click that yet. Instead, I'm going to use Alt-Tab and return to WeVideo. Now, with the timeline at the very beginning, and I've got a gap, I'm going to do some things pretty quickly. I'm going to press the space bar to start the playing, and use my Alt and Tab keys to get back to the Google Doc. Now I'll click the microphone.
My classes no longer meet every day, and it has taken a while for me to get used to only meeting twice a week with my teachers.
I rely more on email and Google Classroom.
Now notice how I click the microphone at the end of my first soundbite. The reason for that, and now I've switched back over to WeVideo and I press pause, the space bar to stop it. The reason for that is sometimes the voice typing gets a little confused if it goes for too long. So I've just stopped it. I'm going to go ahead and add a period and then hit return or the enter key. And now notice I said microphone. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that for now. We'll double check and see how close this is a little bit later. But for right now, I want to be ready for the next soundbite. So I've got the microphone ready. I'm going to Alt-Tab, go back here, back up a little bit. I'm going to listen for the end of the first soundbite and then click that microphone. So here we go.
Used to only meeting twice a week with my teachers.
I rely more on email and Google Classroom because they give me a notification whenever a teacher emails or posts an assignment or announcement.
I do not have access to any other computers,
So again, notice how I clicked the microphone icon to stop the transcription. At the end of that second soundbite, I'm adding a period. So what you want to do is you want to go through all of the sound bites and do the transcription. Then you're going to go back and you're going to double check it and make corrections. So let's see if I can just shrink this a little bit. And now I've got WeVideo over here. So I'm going to go ahead and start playing. Alt-Tab.
My classes no longer meet every day, and it has taken a while for me to get used to only meeting twice a week with my teachers.
I rely more on email and Google Classroom.
So what you want to do is you want to double check and make sure it's word for word what was said. So my classes no longer meet every day. But this saves you actually a lot of time. You get the idea. You've got to go back and forth. You need word for word transcriptions of what everybody said to be able to fill in parts of your script. And make sure that you move your transcript file into your project folder. Choose the File menu Move option, navigate to your News Project folder, and save your transcript file in there. Once you have your transcript complete and you've corrected it to make sure it says exactly what people have said in the sound bites, go back in and make sure you identify who each speaker is. So here you can see I've gone ahead and put the first group of sound bites here. I've got the next group of sound bites, the third, and the last one. Now I can use these to transfer to my script template. I've got that open in another window. You'll notice this audio column here. What you're going to do is you're going to skip this first row because that's where you're going to have your name and go ahead and type in your reporter track. Now, I should have really named this somebody else. I'm just going to change this right now as if a student named Jim Shoes was creating this project. And so his name would be here. But we're not going to do anything for the reporter right now. Instead, we're going to go over here and copy these first sound bites. So after highlighting them, I'll use Control-C. I'll click in the second row over here and do Control-V. And there we go. Now, remember, there was a gap between our group of sound bites, and we're going to use this blank line here as another gap. That's going to be for some more reporter track. So we'll go to the next set of sound bites, take those, highlight them, Control-C to copy them, click over here, Control-V to paste. And finally, well, actually not finally, we've got two more sections. Here's the next one. And notice, I think I've run out of spaces here. So what I'll do is I've got, let me just get rid of that extra line. I'll put the last sound bites in. Let me see if this is the last ones. Oh, they go all the way back down to here. And I'll click those in. But now what I need is one more blank row at the end for the reporter to end the story. So in order to do that, I need to hold two fingers on the Chromebook to click in there. And now I can choose Insert Row Below. So there it is. I've got my sound bites transcribed, and I'm ready for the next stage, which is going to be to actually start writing what's called the reporter track.